Hello everyone and welcome to another Heathered Knits podcast. I am your host Heather and I am coming to you from my home, Edmond, Michigan, where I live with my two children, Abby, who is now 16, and my son Philip, who is 11. And today is a Sunday, September 26th. Welcome to those of you who are coming and checking this out for the first time. I do hope that you like what you see. And welcome to all of you who are returning and coming back to just kind of check in and catch up and see how things are going. For those of you who are checking this out for the first time, this is kind of my sit down. I guess I'll call it a podcast right now for a lack of a better term for it, where I talk about my knitting and then at the end I kind of bring everybody up to date a little bit with what's been going on with my life. It is a really beautiful fall day here in mid-Michigan. We've dipped into a little bit of fall weather, which has been really nice to have it cool off a little bit. And I like the smell of fall, like the smell of the leaves and just kind of the crispness that comes along with it. So I've been enjoying the shift in weather to some degree and just being able to like throw open the windows and get fresh air in the house, and that was really good. And I also have been knitting. So I will start this off by talking about what I have been knitting, and then at the end I will kind of touch on my life stuff a little bit. So if you're not interested in that, that's completely okay. You don't have to stay that long. You can leave after I'm done talking about my knitting. So, I actually have two finished objects to share with you today. The first that I will share with you, I don't particularly find super exciting. They're just the on-the-go knitting that I need to have in my life because that's the way my life is structured. And it's just a pair of vanilla socks, well, sort of vanilla socks. This is a pattern that I mentioned in my previous episode that I kind of adapted from just a vanilla sock pattern and just kind of some ideas that I had about what might work. And so I will walk you through what I did for this, because as you can tell, these are not just a standard vanilla sock. These are shorties. That being said, you could certainly adapt the foot portion to a taller sock if you wanted. I did this for shorties because I find that with shorties they tend to kind of scrunch down a little bit, and so I introduced this ribbing across the instep and across like the arch of the foot basically to help prevent that. So that's what this is. So to give you the recipe for what I did to make this, keep in mind that I wear a US women's size 6 shoe, and that's what these socks are knit for. I have not attempted to do this on a larger sock to know how you might need to adjust the pattern for a larger foot, because I think it would matter if your foot was larger. So I did 10 rounds of a 1x1 twisted rib for the cuff. Now in this case I did it in a contrasting color. I don't know what this color is. This yarn was gifted to me and there was no tag on it, so I'm not sure what it is. I'm pretty sure it's a merino base, but beyond that I couldn't tell you, other than it's purple. And then I did, because this is a shorty and I wanted it to be a shorty, I did 15 rounds of stockinette for the leg. And then I did a heel, flap, and gusset, mainly because I wanted to add the ribbing once I finished the gusset, and it just made it easier so I didn't have to count from the heel to the ribbing. You could certainly do this with a different heel. I just don't know exactly. I'd have to count and see. I believe it's around 23 rows from the heel before I do the ribbing, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So I do a heel, flap, and gusset. And then after I've completed the gusset, I knit 2 rounds in stockinette to kind of set up for the ribbing. And then the ribbing is just a 1x1 standard rib. And then I did that for 15 rounds, and then I finished the foot to the proper length that it needed to be. Now, I believe if your foot was larger, you might want more rounds before the heel and maybe even more rounds for the ribbing portion to kind of make sure that that ribbing is right on the arch of your foot. And also, depending on the length of your arch, you might want more rounds of ribbing. But that's what I did. And then I did a rounded toe, and you could do whatever toe you wanted. The same thing with the cuff. Do whatever cuff you wanted. But that's how I knit these socks. I have found that because they are shorties, they've been really useful for using up like 40 or 50 grams of yarn that might be left over from another pair of socks or another project. And I've just found that it's been a really useful way to knit up those scraps and get something useful out of them. Abby steals my hand knit socks a lot, so I have a lot of them because she comes in and she takes them and wears them as well. So I'm really knitting for like 2 people. Our feet are the same size. So that's my first finished object. My second well, I guess this isn't quite finished. It's pretty close. It's like 90% finished. To give you a small piece of background on this, prior to falling ill and being put on leave, I was a United Methodist pastor of 2 congregations, and the accompanist of one of those congregations I hired when I was there, and she accompanied Abby when she did solo and ensemble, and has just been a person that connected with me, and we still stay in contact a little bit. We don't discuss church matters because that's not allowed, but we still stay in contact because of those other connections that happened. And she told me that her son and his wife are expecting a baby. So she's expecting her first grandchild, a granddaughter, in November. And so I really wanted to knit something for her grandchild. And so I have seen people knit the Antler Cardigan by Tin Can Knits, and that's what I wanted to knit, and so that's what I did. So here it is. I'll show you the back because it's easier to see the pattern. But this is the Antler Cardigan by Tin Can Knits. I did knit the 0 to 6 month size because the baby is going to be born in November, and so I thought a sweater in November made the most sense. I love it. I think it is so cute. I love this yarn too. The yarn is Malabrigo Rios, and the colorway is, hold on, it just fell. Whole grain. It's gray, but it has like a very purpley pink cast to it. So I wanted something that was going to be kind of neutral for a baby, but still have a little bit of a feminine feel to it. So I thought that this was actually perfect. Now I have not blocked it or put the buttons on yet. I do have the buttons, I didn't bring them over here with me, but I do need to, so that's what I need to do to finish this sweater. And I do want to knit a matching hat because there's an antler hat that I think that would be really cute to knit, and I have enough yarn that I could do that. So it knit up super fast because it's a baby knit. and it's worsted weight. So it was like super, super quick. And I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So I need to get that hat knit so that I can then meet up with her and then gift these to her for her grandchild, and I hope that they like them. I enjoyed knitting them. I actually kind of want to get more of this yarn and knit something for myself because it's actually the color that I thought that I was going to get for my Weekender cardigan, which I will show you in just a moment. I thought my Weekender cardigan was going to be like a light grayish purple. It was very purple, was what I ended up getting. So this was the color that I actually thought I was going to get for my Weekender, and I think I would have preferred it to have been in this color, to be perfectly honest with you, but it's okay. I still, I will still wear the Weekender. And that is my work in progress that I have to show you. I have not quite finished it yet, but I'm really, really, really close. So let me show that to you. So I am on the last sleeve of my Weekender, which I can't believe that how quickly this has gone. But it's a worsted weight sweater, so I'm not completely surprised that it's gone that quickly. And because it's pretty mindless, I've been able to work on it like in class and stuff, so I've been able to get a lot accomplished. So this is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. It's kind of, the whole point for me when I was making it was just to kind of make like a chunky sweater that would be really comfortable to just throw on and warm and cozy. That's why I didn't want it to be so purple. I wanted it to be more this color, but that's okay. I'll still wear this. This is fine. Now, one adjustment that I did make was to the neckline. Now, in the pattern, it calls for like a very wide kind of boat neck, like it almost sits like all the way over to like the very edge of your shoulders before it, before it closes. And I did not want that. So what I did was I actually bound off an additional 4 stitches, or no, I held an additional 4 stitches for the shoulders before I bound off for the neck on both sides. And that actually gave me a neck that I was really happy with. Like, I'm really happy with the way that this fits across my neck. It's not super wide. It's, it's kind of more like right here. And I'm really happy with that. Like, I think I can wear a t-shirt under it with like not, the shoulders of the t-shirt showing. So I'm very, very happy with the way that I made that adjustment. So if this is a pattern that you are considering knitting, but if that neck is making you feel a little unsure, you can definitely alter your shoulders so that it's a more narrow neck. And I was a little bit concerned when I bound it off because I was like, oh no, is this going to be too small and not fit over my head? Because this is the neck. But I bound off using a tubular bind off, and it stretches so much I have no problem pulling it over my head. So that did not end up being an issue. I wouldn't want to bind off any more stitches than reduce the neck stitches any more than I did, because then it would definitely have been really difficult, I think, to pull over my head. But the way it stands right now, it fits really well. So I will show you just a couple of the details on it. It has a split hem, and it's kind of the high-low, so it's lower in the back than in the front, which is a style that I do like. It does use a tubular cast-on, which does create this really nice edge. And I've been really pleased with that. I used that actually to cast on this sweater, even though it didn't call for it, just because I liked the edge that it gave me. So that's what I used to cast on the bottom of this sweater. And I also used a tubular cast off for everything on this sweater too, just because I like the way the edge looks. And then it has this, I'm all twisted now. This slip stitch detail up the center to kind of create a seam, which is nice. And then the shoulders have like ribbing on them. And it is a drop shoulder. And then the sleeves are knit in stockinette, not reverse stockinette. So that is the Weekender, and I am happy with how it turned out. A little bit disappointed with the color of the yarn. It wasn't what I expected it to be, but you know, I think that's fine. I still like purple and I will still wear it. It's just not quite what I was wanting it to be. I am planning on doing the Stephen West mystery knit along this year, like every year. I find that I really enjoy knitting the Stephen West mystery knit along in the fall because it always challenges me in some way. It challenges me either in technique or the way that I play with color or something along those lines. So I am planning on doing that, and I have got my yarn set for that as well. I don't have it down here with me, but I will show you once I start it. I believe that begins on October 5th. So maybe depending on when I decide to record again, I might have that started because that's in about 2 weeks. So I might get to see the beginnings of that. Not sure yet. But that's on the to knit list. I also need to cast on another pair of vanilla socks to have with me for diving meets and football games and classes and all of those things that I need some knitting to help keep me distracted. So that will also be cast on. Will just be another pair of vanilla socks to kind of keep me going with that. And I do want to knit the antler hat, which I don't think will take very long at all because it's a baby hat, and hats don't take very long for like normal sized people when they're worsted weight, let alone baby. So I do want to do that, and I might do that once I finish the sweater because I'm pretty sure my Weekender will be done this week, without a doubt. Unless something happens, I think I will have that finished this week. So then I'll probably cast on the antler hat. So that's kind of what's coming up in the future for me with my knitting. And that's all I have for knitting to talk to you about today. So if you are not interested in the rest of it, that's completely fine. Thank you so much for watching. So as far as life stuff goes, it has been a very busy couple of weeks with the kids' activities and everything else going on. And I'm really finding it difficult from a fatigue perspective to kind of keep up with everything that's going on with them, everything that I need to do because my classes have started again, and giving myself the space and the time to rest and let my body kind of recover from all of this. Normally I would have recorded last weekend, but the week that preceded last weekend was just kind of chaotic. It was Abby's 16th birthday, and we went out to dinner the night before with family because Wednesdays she leaves the house for school on Wednesdays at like 7:30, and then she does not get back home until like 8:45 on Wednesday nights. And so her birthday was on a Wednesday, and so it just made it really difficult to like celebrate her birthday. And since it was 16, that's kind of a big deal. So I wanted to be able to make it feel somewhat special. So my family came down and we went and had dinner at a local Italian restaurant that Abby really likes. And then on her birthday itself, I got up really early in the morning and I decorated downstairs with like some streamer or some hangy things and some balloons and some signs. And I wanted her to kind of come downstairs and feel like it was her birthday and feel a little bit special for that. So I did that, and then they have an open campus for lunch, which means the students can leave. They don't have a lot of time though. So what I did is I went to a tropical smoothie cafe because we really like smoothies and the sandwiches from there. And I picked up a smoothie and a sandwich for her and for myself. And then I picked her up and took her to the river because we live really close to a river. And we sat by the river and ate our smoothie and our sandwiches and kind of were able to spend a little bit of time together, which, given the fact that the day was so busy, it was good that we were able to just carve out that little bit of time. And then later that evening, because she goes right from diving practice to marching band rehearsal. I made her favorite dinner for her, which is a pasta dish, and I took that in a Tupperware to her at school so that she could eat. So she sat in the car and ate for a few minutes because it was just chaotic and crazy, and there was so much going on. So we got through that, and then there was a game on Friday, plus diving meets. It's been really busy. And then this week was, the normal crazy schedule. She had a meet on Thursday, and then yesterday, on Saturday, they had their first marching band invitational, which is a competition where different marching bands from the area come together and they compete. Basically, it's like to highlight them instead of them just being like an accent of a football game. So I went to that for her, and they did really well. They marched very well. They ended up winning their portion of the competition, which was really exciting, and I was glad for them. So that's been her and her craziness that's just taken so much time. I was so tired when I got home last night. I kind of crashed and fell asleep and slept in this morning much later than I normally do. But it felt really good, and I definitely needed to do that because I was exhausted. Philip has been busy as well with his Taekwondo. His swim lessons have started again. He's going to most likely swim for the middle school team, and that will be starting, I think, in the end of November. So he's kind of getting ready for that. Plus his Taekwondo, he had another belt testing, which he passed, which was really good. And I believe they're going to be starting some advanced classes in Taekwondo in a month or two. So that he's been busy with that. It's just there's a lot that has been going on. And so it's been hard for me to still be involved with them, which is really important that I continue to be involved with them, but also like caring for myself. So that's been a really difficult balance to find, and I've not necessarily been the best at doing that, but I am trying very hard to carve out that time, and recognizing on the days that I need to just be like, okay, I need to stop what I'm doing and I need to rest. I can do that. It's just hard sometimes to do that. So that's what's been going on. And I wanted to just kind of update you and bring you up to speed with everything that's been happening. It's been, like I said, it's been busy, but good at the same time. And yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate the time that you take out of your day to spend with me when I record these, so thank you very much for all of that. I may try to vlog again. I'm not sure. It's really hard with so much going on to remember to like pick up and record like a vlog style thing. So that may not, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Maybe one of these times we'll be able to pull that off. It's hard to say though. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment. I do read all of your comments and try to reply to all of them, and I appreciate all of them, and I appreciate you and just being here. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are all doing well, and I will talk to you again in a couple of weeks. Bye.